Hello everyone, in this video we are going to see about the applications of OOPS. You know that OOPS means Object Oriented Programming Systems. It is about creating objects that contain both data and functions. The definition of the object says object is a combination of data and functions are members and methods. As OOP is faster and easier to execute, it becomes more powerful than procedural languages like C. OOPS is the most important and flexible paradigm of modern programming. That means we're able to solve the modern programming problems using the OOPS concept. It is specifically useful in modeling real world problems. When we are able to when we wanted to learn the real world problems, we should be able to model the problem such a way that we can study them and analyze them better. For that, OOPS concept helps. Below are some examples on applications of OOPS. Real-time systems design. Real-time system inherits the complexities and make it difficult to build them. For that, those cases, we are able to, this OOPS concept helps to handle those complexities very easier. So as we know that real-time systems are the systems based upon the time frame. A real-time system is a system that processes information and responds to the events within a specific time frame. That means the system should respond within a short time span. Otherwise, the system will be a failure. In such cases, to handle that type of complexities, real-time system helps. Examples of real-time systems are air traffic control system, where the air traffic should be controlled in a dynamic way based upon the weather conditions and the surroundings. Otherwise, it will create a confusion in the traffic. Likewise, the patient monitoring system, where the patient's health is monitored dynamically to treat the patients in a proper time. And autonomous driving system, as the name implies, without it's an unmanned vehicle where the driving without driver, the system the car runs. So the car should be able to dynamically observe what is the obstacle that comes in the opposite direction and how to tackle the situation. So these are some few examples of the real-time systems. For such systems which have the dynamic complexities, these applications OOPS helps in a lot. Then the next application is about the hypertext and hypermedia. So in order to specify the text, the procedural languages helps. But when you come to the hypertext or the hypermedia, we need the OOPS concept. What is a hypertext? A hypertext is a regular text that can be stored, searched, and edited easily. That means we should be able to process the text whenever we need it, whether it can be stored and something if you want to search or we have to process them. So that type of text which enables this is called as a hypertext. Hypermedia is the other hand of other. It's a superset of hypertext, means under the hypermedia, hypertext is one some subset. So what is the hypertext? It's a text that contains links to the other text, while hypermedia is a hypertext that also includes the other forms of media such as images, sounds, and videos. Here, hypertext is a text that contains the links to other text, means normally when we browse any content in the website, we have many links to follow. When you click on one link, that link will take you to the other part of the document, and that contains some other link which you will connect to the other part of the document. That way we are able to navigate through the document in a specific manner. That is called as a hypertext. Where hypermedia means it's a collection of all the medias that includes hypertext as well as the images, sounds, and audios and videos. So it's a collection of all the type of media. Hypermedia is an extension of hypertext that offers a richer, more varied experience of other users. OOPS helps in laying the framework for hypertext and hypermedia. So the framework is necessary to first form the object's skeleton, and then only we can fill the data and we can do the process. For brain, while doing the repeated or problem for a long time, we get little tired and we are not able to do the concentrate on the work properly. In such cases, we employ the computers to do the monotonous task again and again. So that helps to solve the complex problems. That is the AI expert system. So as the name implies, expert system are the system which is used in the specific fields. For example, healthcare system which solves the problem in the health industry, manufacturing system which gives the solution for the problems in the manufacturing industry. Likewise in finance and all the fields. They use the knowledge base and rules to analyze the data and provides advice. So the data will be fed into the system for a long time, and enormous data will be fed into the system. Based on the system that we call as a knowledge base. When data becomes more and more, and we also apply some information along with the data, it is called as a knowledge. When there is the knowledge base, it helps to analyze the data based upon some rules. So, and based upon that analysis, we can provide some advice to the functioning of the particular system. So, for that, this OOPS concept helps a lot. Then the office automation system, these include formal as well as the informal electronic systems that primarily concern with the information sharing and communication to and from people inside and outside the organization. So when you say office automation system, there should be a communication system and also information sharing system. So that sharing of communication and uh, the transfer of data between to and fro from people to other people inside and outside the organization helps a lot in the office automation. OOPS helps in making such office automation principle. Neural networking and parallel programming, it addresses the problem of prediction and approximation of complex time varying systems. So when there's a complex system which is based upon so many parameters. So as the name implies, neural networks means neural is the neuron which our brain have. Likewise, man have simulated the neurons as a neural network to how to make the system think like a human being. It's an artificial intelligence. So for that, this OOPS concept helps a lot. And this OOP simplifies the entire process by simplifying the approximation and prediction ability of the network. So the problem the data is given and the problem is identified and it is analyzed, and it gives the approximation and prediction ability means it will just help to understand how the system will behave when this happens. Like a human can just to forecast something, the systems are made to just think like a human being to find out to predict the ability of the network, how it will work for after some time. And that concept of parallel programming says that many when you have a huge problem, this problem have to be solved in a parallel manner for the fast execution of the process. For that case, we are using the concept called parallel programming. So bigger problems are broken into many sub-programs, and those sub-programs are solved by different networks, and that is called as parallel programming. So this neural networking and parallel programming together helps to make the system predict the ability of the system, how it work in the future time. Next is the simulation and modeling system. This stimulating complex system required modeling and understanding the interaction explicitly. So the suppose the system which cannot find as a real. For example, you want to travel in a space to model a system. So we cannot travel in a space to model it. So we model the parameters of what the space will have in a system, and for that type of complex designs, this OOPS helps. So it's a difficult to model complex system due to varying specification of variables, and OOPS concept helps providing an appropriate approach for simplifying the complex models. So these complex systems require modeling and understanding the interaction explicitly. That means suppose it's a model of the system, a human interact with the system, and for that the system should react or reflect. So how the dynamically the system react with the human being. Such type of system can be designed by the OOPS concepts. Object-oriented databases. The databases try to maintain the direct correspondence between the real world and the database object in order to let the object retain its identity and integrity. So we know that database is a collection of many tables, and the table consists of rows and columns about the data about the entity. So now here, when the databases have direct correspondence between the real world, because for example, in order to reflect the real world process, we need to collect a vast database, and that database need to be object oriented, then only it will be able to model the real world objects. In such cases, this object oriented database helps to maintain the direct correspondence between the real world and the database. In that, what is the objective we obtain is this helps to let the object retain the identity and integrity. What is identity is the unique working of the system, that is the identity, and integrity means the correctness of the system, how the system correctly work or efficiently work on time is the integrity without doing any duplication of the work. Next is the client server system. Object oriented system client server system provides a IT infrastructure creating object oriented server internet OCSI applications. We know that client server system means the client is the one which gives the main support to all the server. The client requires all the things from the server, and the server is the main system which provides the service to the clients. So client requests the service from the server, and the server provides the services. In such type of client server system, this OOPS concept helps a lot. Next is the CIM, CID and CIM. It is the Common Information Model CIM, and then Computer Aided Design and Computer Aided Management systems. OOP can also be used in manufacturing and designing applications as it allows people to reduce their efforts involved. For instance, it can be used to while designing the blueprints and the flowcharts. We always create the flowcharts or the blueprints as a model of the work to be done, and that work has to be done as a base to create the model above. For that creation of this basic blueprints or the flowcharts, these systems CIM, CAD and CAM helps a lot. So it makes possible to produce these flowcharts and the blueprint accurately, and based on that the model can be built very efficiently. So these are all applications of OOPS. Hope it is easy and simple to follow, and thanks for watching.